Today we're going to work on installing that propane line. We've actually got two different points for the propane. Dave's got the howitzer. Let's get started. I wish I had a hoe that was narrow enough to work in that trench. I bought this thing, but it's still too wide.
Really?
Yeah, I mean the trench is only like this wide, so about the width of that gap there. So I guess I just need to take a cutter to it and cut it off. I don't know. I'm afraid it won't be very strong because this bend here is where the strength is of this blade of the hoe. Dave's looking over here like, I'm going to solve that.
We can fabricate.
We've made a couple of marks here. We've scratched one up, but this is where we really want the bends to happen. And we've bent one of them here.
But you had a press.
I do have a press, Christy, but we can't really use it because we can't get the handle in there. It's going to be hard to do what you want to do, right? After on the second bend.
There we go.
Dave power.
Okay, so the objective here is, rather than cutting this off, if we bend it, we keep the strength, right? So we got it started that way. The idea here is to put it in the vise this way now and let some more Dave power work on it. Pretty good vise.
Yeah.
Table might not be so good.
Let's let off of this and put it down in there a little further. You may not be able to bend it like that.
I don't think I can.
Oh, we can bend that with the press.
Yeah.
At present, we have gone from 3.5 to 3. I like.
I'm standing behind Dave.
Oh, it just broke it. Didn't it?
I heard
Correct,
something.
but I don't think we. What's our measurement, Tim?
2 3/8. Let's give it a try. Well, that's not enough. We could cut some, now that we've got so much of that bend in there. I guess we could cut some off each side. Now, of course, you get wide there. That's not a...
Right. See how we're still wide? We're still wide everywhere.
Yeah, and I don't think we can bend anymore. We can't tell where it's cracked exactly, but it sure felt like it was giving way.
You've got one side more bent than the other, right?
Probably.
There's our crack.
There's our crack, yeah.
But that's okay. I
Well,
think.
for now. Yeah.
And we're starting to get. Can
Yeah.
you see the stress riser there?
Yeah, so I think our only choice is to cut. So we wanted about 1.5 inches, right, Dave?
Nifx. We don't have much cutoff wheel left, so I'm trying to be conservative. Well, looks pretty good.
We use those cutoff wheels, a bunch of them. We use them and use them and use them, and I'm out. I bought a big stack of them, and now we're out. But yeah, that's one of our favorite toys, is using the angle grinder with a cutoff wheel. And yeah, we know there's some danger there, but it's just an amazing tool. I hate to throw it away. It's the only one we got, Dave. Sharpen me up a little bit on that side there.
Sharpen it up?
Yeah. And use this to clean out your ears, Christy.
No, thanks.
Okay, let's try it now. See if we can get down in the trench. We definitely have the end that we worked on working great. Now the only challenge I see is the top end, which we didn't touch. Being a little bit too wide. For the depth trench we're digging, this is wonderful. I think we'll probably need to do something with the top.
Can you use it as a shovel too?
Well, sort of. I mean, you won't get much at a time, see?
Right.
But I can scrape it along. One thing I could do, see, is scrape it back here far enough that I could use the mini trencher to pull more of it up.
Just use code TTWT, get 5% discount. You can pick it up off TractorTimeWith10.com.
Yeah, something like that. Dave will make them one by one with the little crack here from too much bend.
Yep.
This is a tool that I think the folks at minitrencher.com should offer as an accessory for their mini trencher, for the GeoRipper.
I agree.
Because it's hard to crumb in there, and you really do need to crumb a little bit. This is pretty close, Dave. I think we did a remarkable job. I think maybe we ought to squeeze on that just a little bit at some point.
Yeah.
But for the depth trench we're doing today, perfect.
It works just fine. Sweet.
When I got my first Ventrac, 7 years ago now, I asked him if I could use the trencher. At that time I had one specific project for it and quite frankly figured I might never use it again. Turns out I use it a lot. Of course, a building project like this is a place where you're going to do some extra trenching, but I also get a lot of business requests, folks wanting trenches dug. I had to turn down one recently just simply because I was so busy with the building. I've done almost zero maintenance to the trencher itself. Yeah, I grease the fittings once in a while. Oh, there was a peek of the internet cable, the Cat 6 that we buried last spring. We found it without damage. I did catch the outer shield of it a little bit with my shovel, so I've just put some black tape on it. Hopefully it'll be okay. You can see it there, 3 or 4 inches in front of the trencher. We're a bit concerned about hitting the electric wires between the house and the shop, and that's why we've got Dave digging with a tile spade here. How are you getting along, Dave?
It's going.
Yeah, I mean,
He's sweating.
yeah, but you're making great progress. I mean, the good news is you're in the shade for a few more minutes.
Kinda.
Kinda.
A few more minutes, you can go to the other end and start digging this way.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm about as shallow as you are. I don't know that we're going to hit at that depth.
I don't know. I was gonna say I think if I dug out to here, but I mean it could still be, you know, just don't know.
I don't know.
But you would surely think it's deeper than what I'm digging.
I would hope. We checked video from about 6 years ago when we installed our original geothermal. The line was at least 2.5 feet deep on that other side, and so after discussion, we decided to go for it. You can see I'm digging somewhere between 12 to 16 inches here, trying not to go any deeper than that. Now when I'm saying 2.5 foot deep, that was at the other end, at the house side.
You've completely filled in my trench!
I called in some old-timer wisdom here when it came to the actual gas setup. Rex just has an incredible breadth of knowledge.
Coil up a little bit, but I could be wrong.
There we go.
Yep. Obviously, we need to leave that out, Dave.
Yep.
We didn't even quite make it to the...
Yeah, well, I told him 135 feet, and with that little bit there that we added, that took a little bit off, but to get to the second post, I calculated 135.
Rex strongly encouraged me to study my lesson a little bit on how these gas lines and the pressures and these regulators work, and I'm glad he did. Just like in the pond video where he encouraged me to put that rope to keep the tractor out of the pond, Rex has come through again. What I found out in my study, it wasn't really hard to find this and figure it out on the internet, but from the tank itself, you have a high pressure regulator, and then there is a second stage regulator that you typically place before you enter your house. These regulators either need to be outside or they need to be have their vented to the outside. And the significant thing for me and the design that we had here was that how I was going to do my regulators, I didn't have any consideration for how much load I was going to have on the other side of them. What I found out is that once we put in the second regulator, the low pressure regulator, they refer to it, you don't have very much flow after that. Not much capacity in the same size line. So where I was going to put the regulator, pretty much at the corner of the building there, I wasn't going to be able to drive the pressure washer because I had maybe 80 feet of line to the washer after this low pressure regulator. The pressure washer is 360,000 BTUs. So with a chart that I'm showing you here right now, you can see that with 3/4 inch line, beyond the low pressure regulator, I can only have about 20 to 25 feet of 3/4 inch line. Otherwise, I'd have to go up to bigger, maybe 1.25 inches, maybe even 1.5 inches to get to that longer run that I was needing. So what we've chosen to do is to put in 2 regulators. We're going to put a regulator back here behind the office portion that we'll use for the water heater in the new office. That's going to be a 200,000 BTU. So we had plenty of capacity there. We really could have had a longer run on that one, but this just seems like the most sensible place to put that regulator. And I'll show you what we're going to do on the other side. Our original plan was to run under the concrete right here with a low pressure line, and that's just too long of a run. So we're going to abandon that trench entirely. We could try to run another trench right along here, but I've mentioned in some other videos, maybe not very clearly, but I want to also have a big PVC, 4-inch PVC pipe between the 2 shops for air, as well as some potential other runs that I might do in the future. This is just one of those security and future build out ideas. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig this with the Mini X, dig it 2 foot wide here, put the regulator somewhere here on this wall, and then I'll be right inside that wall, maybe 15 feet of 3/4 inch run until I get to the pressure washer, and so that's where that's going to land. In the same trench, I'll put the 4-inch PVC. So the gas won't be in the PVC line, but it'll be in the same trench. And that should be able to support our 360,000 BTU pressure washer. Hot pressure washer. We were going to do this T right by the doorway just before we went under the concrete, but with this change in design, we just trenched another trench right out here. We'll make the T connection here, and then that trench will eventually intersect the wider ditch or trench that we're going to dig with the Mini X to connect the 2 buildings. The original plan was to put the low pressure regulator here. In addition to all the other things I've explained about why that's not going to work, the long runs, it's also within 3 foot of a door. And I found that's another restriction. You cannot have the regulator vent, which is a downflow vent, within 3 foot of any opening that goes lower than the bottom of the vent. In theory, if the vent was venting a lot of gas, it would go down and could flow into the doorway, stay right on that floor, and could be an explosive danger. If you're an LP gas expert, you've probably already spotted at least a couple of installation errors. You saw a preview of the regulator that I've got here for the shop side. I believe I've installed that in the wrong direction. I'll get that fixed. The other item, as I read the fine print, was that these regulators are for indoor use only, and I have to purchase a vent protector to replace the vent limiter for outdoor use, and I've got those on order. They'll be here in a day or 2. The last item, I can't find good instruction to help me. I'm not sure they're allowed to be installed in this orientation. Quite frankly, the instructions aren't very good, but I've seen a lot of regulators installed like this, so I'm not sure I fully understand. In any case, your comments are welcome. Just please state your credentials. As of published time on this video, these trenches are not filled in, so I should have time to correct any errors. You might be asking why I'm taking so much risk to dig this closely to the building. And it is a risk. It's quite easy for me to bump the controls in a direction I don't intend. But the reasoning is that we're right in the middle of this old driveway and it's very hard right there on the surface. We've had a lot of trouble trying to hand dig through that first layer of rock. And as long as I can keep my concentration intact, this machine gives me the control necessary to keep from hitting the shop. In our last episode, I discussed the insulation that we were putting vertically along the sidewalls. This is how we're digging that out. Seemed like a good time to do that. We need to be inside here anyway. This is where the PVC and the gas line are both going to come in. Here's a look at the trench from the old shop, and then that's supposed to be a 45-degree angle, but I didn't measure it, I just guessed. Hopefully it's close enough. I'll get this finished up and we'll get the pipe in. One last step here on this 4-inch PVC. We've got the 4-inch PVC all the way end to end. I'm going to run this rope through it. Typically we would use a smaller string, but what I'm going to want to pull through here may be kind of a tough pull. So I'm going to try to get a rope through it. I've got the rope with, I don't know, there's a rag in there and a bag. So we'll see if we can get it sucked through. Put your hands around it, make as tight a seal as possible, and suck on the hole.
You think that little one's gonna do it?
If it was yellow, I'd believe in it. But it's not yellow.
Oh boy.
So.
It's working. As long as my rope doesn't get knotted up, we're all good.
Getting something.
You got it?
Oh wow.
I'll be darned.
It worked. How do you like the propane pipe? Yeah, I intentionally put too long of a pipe on here because this is not tight and I wanted it to hold in here. We're almost out of time today, and so we've still got to put the 2 inches of insulation behind here. We got it all dug out. We'll put that up to here, run it right down there in between here. I didn't hit it, but that's pretty good on that. Let's go outside. I should just send Dave outside. It's too hot for me out there.
Well, Tim, you've officially drawn a line in the sand.
Yeah. Don't you dare cross that line,
Well,
or else you might fall down.
yeah. Big jump there.
We've got to do a bit more before we start filling in. First, we got to put the metallic tape in. We're going to put metallic tape everywhere the propane line runs. Who knows, we may even put it on the PVC here as well. We also have to do a pressure test on all the propane stuff. Not exactly sure how we're going to do that yet. We don't have the same technology that the geothermal guys had.
No, we
So I think what we're going to do is neighbor Chris has a leak detector, one of those little sniffer things. I think we're actually going to turn the gas on at some point when we get it all plugged up. Turn the gas on and then just run around and sniff every connection with that sniffer and make sure that we don't have any leaks that way.
Probably a solid setup.
Yeah. So we won't fill it in today. It's too hot anyway. I've worked poor Dave. Even I've been on the shovel some. Maybe
About time for a cheeseburger, isn't it?
it is time for a cheeseburger and maybe a big old milkshake.
Yeah, something.
Ugh.
It's a little warm for milkshake.
Yeah.
Cold
Okay.
drinks.
Cold drink. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim. By the sweat of your brow you will eat your food until you return to the ground, since from it you were taken. For dust you are, and to dust you will return. I almost forgot what channel it was.
It's been a minute.